How to move on from multiple betrayals. I have really been struggling with maintaining my sense of composure when communicating with my ex and need advice on how you moved on from the pain and betrayal of infidelity. We've been broken up since 2020 after I found out he had been cheating the entire 10 months of our daughter's life plus while I was pregnant with multiple women. I wouldn't be surprised if he was cheating at other points during our relationship before the pregnancy as well. We had a period of long-distance reconciliation from 2021-2022 until I found out he not only had a live-in GF but also another baby on the way with another woman, different from the GF. I can only imagine there were countless other women during that time. I have sole physical custody. We were never married. He's never done any parenting. His visits are few and far between. My daughter wants to face him maybe once every 2 weeks. He visits maybe once every 2 months for a few hours. You'd think by now after everything I'd be moved on from him. But the pain and betrayal is so fresh still, and we have the same fight every month that revolves around him not paying child support. He works under the table and doesn't pay taxes, so the state set his child support to 0, contributing anything or showing any kind of care, and generally me being angry at him. We go through good phases where he's kind and texts me regularly, but it never lasts. I'm stuck on wanting to prove to myself I never deserved being treated so poorly. I just want to heal this wound and make peace with his shitty behavior and not be so affected by him all the time. I fired my last therapist because I don't think she was helpful at all in my healing journey, offered no guidance or tools, and more or less just agreed with my feelings of betrayal. I need tools and strategies. Help. I'm really struggling. How to have the final conversation. I am still processing it, and there are so many details. The betrayal had so many layers that it feels like my mind doesn't want me to see everything sorted in a timeline because it would drag me down in my own recovery. But the short version would be that my, now ex-partner of almost 10 years had been cheating on me, PA, and EA at least from his side, for 5 years with a person that I know. DD1 was 2 years ago, but I've been suspecting something was wrong for 3 years at the time of the discovery. WP said he would do anything necessary to repair the relationship, and we have the hysterical bonding phase, but soon I lost any hope. I started to focus on myself and my own healing, and not gonna lie, planning my exit, but I still hold desperately to the last bits of hope in my heart, hoping the affair fog, or the limerence broke. WP again broke a boundary barely 6 months in a significant date for the affair, throwing a tantrum, I still don't know the real reason why, and leaving me alone in another city. We were separated for a couple of months but still saw each other every weekend. WP keeps pushing my boundaries and not doing any work to repair the relationship. We started to share house again and, sure enough, he was talking to AP again, just now he was deleting the messages. So I decided to wait. Mind you that since DD1 happened, I have been having barely 2 hours straight of sleep, waking up multiple times in the middle of the night, having anxiety and panic attacks for menial behaviors of my partner. In a permanent state of hypervigilance. I was shocked, I was numb. DD2 happened in July and I broke up the day before I had irrefutable proof that they had met early this year. I told him, I know what you have been doing behind my back. I don't need confirmation from your side. As you have violated my boundaries repeatedly, I consider this relationship over. I asked him to keep the logistics conversations reduced to email, which he hasn't complied. I forwarded him a list of my things that are still in what was our shared home, and while he repeated that he wanted to do this the easiest and fastest way possible, he has adopted the, very comfortable for him, attitude of giving me space to take my decision, as he was a totally passive subject in this matter. In his mind, I guess, this is just a rough patch? WP claims he wants to be my friend, not my enemy, which was also something that he told me quite a few times during his affair and is fucking triggering to me. The audacity. None of my friends have betrayed me the way my WP. I am asking for advice on how to have the final conversation with him. While I know that I don't want to have a relationship with him, and that this will sound contradictory to what would transpire in my previous paragraph, I of course still love him and don't want to hurt him, nor want the conversation to shift to a blaming and self-loathing tennis match. I want it to be productive and give the least space for emotional manipulation from his side. Each time I try to write something to organize my thoughts, it ends up being something that, while true, is pretty horrible, both to say to someone and to be told. Even while I know that his actions were what brought us to this point. I don't want to be mean. Honestly, I just want to close this chapter in my life and move on. Next steps after finding about my cheating husband, military. Hey everyone. I, 23F, need some help where to go from here. I have been with my husband, 23M, for almost 7 years, married for almost 2. He is in the military and we got legally married almost 2 years ago, however it was on the DL and nobody in our family knows, only the people he works with. We have no kids, no loans together, and only a few pets that are mine. On Halloween I had a gut feeling something wasn't right and I looked through his phone when he was asleep. I know this is a dick move, I shouldn't have gone through without his knowledge or permission, however I found out he has been messaging other women to try and hook up, and even found a clip of him fucking another woman. I confronted him and he did the classic, "That's not me, I thought it was my friend, I had proof they were cheating, blah blah blah." At the time I was in such shock I couldn't have said more, but he changed all his passwords and left to sleep in base for the night. I continued to dive deep because something just wasn't right. Well, I found the full-length video and I have more proof it was in fact him due to his voice, his clothing, markings on his body, and I found out that he was disgusting enough to fuck this girl at a sex shop close to base. He thinks we are fine, he's acting like nothing happened and that he's innocent, but I know. I'm planning on leaving him, I just don't know how. I'm afraid of that first initial conversation. I moved across the country for him. I'm afraid to move back home, lose all my benefits and get a new job. I'm also terrified of the divorce process. I'm only 23, not working a big girl job yet. I'm already paying for student loans. I don't want this divorce to cost me too much. I don't want anything extra, just what's mine. Can anyone give me tips on specifically military divorce if you know, but also on how to confront and tell him I'm done?